If you've ever wondered which fika Swedes have for midsummer, this is it. Hey, I'm Daniel, and today I'm making a traditional Swedish strawberry cake, which is called Jordgubbstårta in Swedish. And that is one of the most iconic fikas that we're having during the Swedish Midsummer. Okay, då kör vi. Welcome back to Swedish Fika. Here I share traditional Swedish baking, my family recipes and the cozy culture of fika. And today we're making Jordgubbstårta, which simply translates to strawberry cake, like I said before. It's one of the most traditional Swedish cakes, and it's especially associated with Midsummer, which is one of Sweden's most important celebrations. So if you visit Sweden in June and are invited to a midsummer gathering, there's a very good chance you'll find some version of this cake on the table. What makes it special isn't complicated decorations, unusual ingredients or so. It's the combination of soft sponge cake, whipped cream and strawberries on top during the beginning of the short but magical Swedish strawberry season. In many ways, this cake has become a symbol of Swedish summer. So every traditional Swedish strawberry cake starts with a light sponge cake. And for the batter, I'm using eggs, sugar, flour, potato starch, and baking powder. Potato starch is a common ingredient in Swedish baking, and it helps create the light texture that works so well in celebration cakes like this one. Before making the batter, I'm gonna turn on the oven to preheat it to 200 degrees Celsius or just below 400 degrees Fahrenheit. And I will also give the oven a couple of squirts of water with my trusty spray bottle. I'll start by whisking the eggs and sugar until the mixture becomes pale and fluffy. And the air we create here really helps in giving the finished cake its soft structure. In another bowl, I'll mix the other ingredients, and then I will carefully sift everything into the egg mixture and gently fold it in together. Now that the batter is smooth, it goes into this greased and crumbed cake tin and into the oven about 40 to 45 minutes. The cake will bake at 175 degrees Celsius, which is 350 degrees Fahrenheit. So remember to reduce the temperature as soon as the cake hits the oven. Earlier, I forgot to mention that you should bake the cake in the lower part of the oven, and when it comes out, you should try it with a cake tester to make sure that it's ready. And the sign that it is ready is that the cake tester doesn't come out sticky. All good. So we'll just leave this to cool down a little bit, and then I will turn it upside down and cut it twice in order to make 3 layers of cake. One thing I love about Jordgubbstårta is that there isn't just one correct recipe. Across Sweden, you'll find many different variations. And some families use vanilla custard, others use pastry cream in between, and some families use sliced fresh strawberries between the different layers, which is great. And today, I'm making a super simple version that I love. I'm filling the cake with homemade strawberry jam. I'll show you how to do the jam further down the line, but if you don't have homemade, just use bought and it will turn out great as well. I spread a generous amount of jam across the first layer. Then another layer of sponge. More jam. And finally the top layer. What I love about traditional Fika recipes is that they're often surprisingly simple. They don't try to impress with complexity, just focus on good ingredients and familiar flavors. Next comes one of the defining features of a classic Swedish strawberry cake, freshly whipped cream. I usually put a tiny little bit of baking powder in the cream before whisking it, and that will help in getting the perfect consistency for the decoration of the cake. I covered the entire cake with a generous amount of cream. And this isn't a cake that needs perfect edges or elaborate decorations. Instead, just embrace the homemade style, which is exactly how we Swedes do it. These cakes are designed to be shared with family and friends, much rather than being displayed behind glass. Now that the cream is in place, I finish everything with fresh strawberries. Some choose to cut them before decorating the cake, but I personally prefer to have whole strawberries. And like that, it's finally ready. But before I taste it, there's one final important detail missing. Ah, there we go. For anyone unfamiliar with Swedish traditions, flower crowns is a classic part of the midsummer celebration. And I can't think of a better companion for a slice of jordgubbstårta. And if you've never celebrated Swedish Midsummer before, this cake is a pretty good place to start. It's simple, seasonal, and meant to be shared. So that's it for today. And if you're curious about Swedish baking and the culture of Fika, you're indeed in the right place, with more to come soon again. Thank you so much for spending this time with me. And until next time, glad midsommar! Vad himla vad gott! Åh, så bra!